You mentioned about are the gays welcome? I would say yes, certainly. I mean, the answer is an unequivocal yes. They are welcome. They are part of the church, very much whom we care for. I have in Mumbai met several people of gay orientation. They met me, and I've told them, they've asked me like, something, are we welcome in the church? And I said, yes, certainly. Will you say mass for us for the group? I certainly will, because you are part of the church.
With more than 1.2 billion followers around the world, the Catholic Church is the largest Christian church on the planet, among the oldest religions in the world, following the teachings of the Bible and the leadership on earth of the Pope. And the man who currently wears the robes could be on the verge of rocking this boat like no one since Emperor Constantine when he legalized the religion in the year 313. Pope Francis is holding out olive branches to the gay community, and not everybody agrees with the outreach. Welcome to MidPoint, the senior analyst at the National Catholic Reporter, Thomas Reese. And she is the executive director of DignityUSA, an organization focusing on gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender Catholics, Marianne Duddy-Burke. I thank you both for being here today.
Good to be with you.
Marianne, I'm going to start with you. I understand, and I read, of course, your what you call the deep disappointment in the final report out of the Synod on the family, basically watering down what the Pope had said early on. But don't you take some pride, if you will, or perhaps some hope that this Pope has really let the genie out of the bottle, and this is something that is going to have to be resolved sooner rather than later?
You know, I do think that Pope Francis has set the church on a new course. I think he has called us to return to our ministerial roots, to really pay attention to the people on the margins of society, to the poor, to anyone who is suffering. And I think that's a really important thing. From our perspective, that certainly includes the LGBT community. And to see people really wrestling with where we fit into the church was definitely a step forward. You know, no more can we say there's monolithic opinion in the highest ranks of the church, that's for sure.
Thomas, can we say with some sort of certainty here that Pope Francis has angered a tremendous amount of people who, quite frankly, did not want this discussed, did not want this out in the open, and are not comfortable at all that we are discussing this in public?
No. A tremendous number of people? No. I just don't buy that kind of numbers. We see from all the public opinion polls in the United States that people love Pope Francis. Even people who are self-identified as conservative Catholics have a very positive view of him. They like his stress on the compassion of God, the love of God. I mean, he's reminding us that Jesus had, ate dinner with prostitutes. He reached out to them. Jesus was a man who welcomed everyone and taught them about God's love and compassion. So lots of people, yeah. I mean, the people who are angry are what I would call the conservative commentariat, the people with blogs, the people with megaphones, the people who, like the older son in the story of the parable of the prodigal son. The older son got on, says, "Hey, Dad, why are you being so nice to this prodigal son?"
Okay, now that's fair to say, but certainly when the synod broke up, there was a lot of discussion from people who were in Rome and follow the church proceedings as well, that a lot of bishops weren't happy with this. The people themselves who were close to the Pope did not want him to bring that up. You disagree with that?
Well, I think there is a real problem. There are some among the bishops who are, frankly, ideologues. They have a tough time changing. On the other hand, I think there's also a large group of what I would call pastoral conservatives. They're just worried. They're confused. They have been told, to go in one direction. And now the Pope is trying to say, let's alter course a bit. And that makes them a little nervous. The challenge for them is how can the church be a loving mother while at the same time being a clear teacher?
Okay, let me stop you right there for a sec. One sec. I got about 40 seconds left in this segment right here. Marianne, to you on that question. How can the church do those things?
The reality is that gay people have been part of the church forever. And I think that really coming to wrestle with what is our place in the church, how are we fully accepted, how can the church listen to our needs, the needs of our families, and incorporate that in her ministerial structure, in her sacramental structure, in her dogmatic teachings. All of that is really important in this day and age.
All right, now I'm going to ask you both to hang on just a sec. We have to take a break here. We're coming back because after the break, how far is the Catholic Church willing to go in order to be more amenable to their flock in issues such as this, divorce, even married priests? Later on this hour, the immigration battle begins in South American countries. Those who believe America needs to help them with money to make it all better. That and much more right here on MidPoint, where every day we question everything.